Hello and greetings, this is Dan speaking, and I'm here with my co-host Joe at the Canadian Culture Corner. Today's problem we are going to discuss are cat-themed supervillainesses and anti-heroines. And this is a trend that happens almost always with the female cat theme. The male characters don't have as much of this issue. They're just treated as sex-purring sex icons.
The male ones or female ones?
Female ones.
I lost track there. Oh, thank heavens the female ones are treated that way. I'd be pretty disturbed if the male ones were.
And
now, I know in the 90s, they were giving, and even the 80s, they were giving Catwoman and Black Cat some character development, respectively. Catwoman pre-Crisis. Now, post-Crisis, they decided to initially make her just a full-time supervillainess throughout the 80s and 90s, and she'd be irredeemable. And they would use Poison Ivy as the redeemable love interest, an anti-hero when love interest. I'm referring to the No Man's Land stuff, as well as the Azrael storylines where Catwoman was completely beyond the pale. And it's I think that Selina being portrayed as a bit of a sex kitten there was... I don't see how it's a problem per se.
it was appropriate for,
her using her sexuality that way as part of a weapon, and her being just beyond the pale, I liked her more as a villainess than as any possible love interest for Batman. I actually don't like the pairing because it got shoved down our throats so much growing up. That said, when they actually had her move past Bruce and move out of Gotham, I found that was an interesting direction where they were going right before, around 1 year later.
Yeah.
But then they have to bring her back so they could sex kitten her up with Bruce, and it's just, why?
Put the baby on the bus and never mention her ever again.
I hate that. You made her a single mom. You have with someone other than Batman. Well, lean into that. That could be an interesting character direction for the character, and there could be great character growth.
I actually would have considered reading such a story.
Same.
Unfortunately, these female cat-based villainesses and anti-heroines, some of them actually try to become legitimate heroines, but they are blocked by the sexual frustration of
the author.
The authors and editors, and they're stuck in this loop.
Now, that said, I'm just going to actually kind of say this. It's fine having a sexy cat-themed or whatever-themed villainess who remains a villainess and remains a sensual character who's just not someone that the character will never get. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I actually think there's a place for that.
Yeah.
To an extent. So, I'm just saying, there's a place for such a character. I'm just going to disagree with you there. Now, the only one I'm really attached to as a character was pre-97 Felicia Hardy, who got a lot of character development. Now, initially she was like that, then she became a crazy psycho when she stalked Spider-Man and Mary Jane. Then she became MJ's bestie, and essentially her and Spider-Man basically got over each other. As Felicia fell hard for Flash Thompson and really wanted him, and Flash was just going, nope, not having any of this. And I liked that, and I was kind of like, oh, where are they going to take this character now? Oh, reboot. She's now Spider-Man's mistress. What? So Spider-Man's a cheating, adulterous ass post-97 and doesn't care about his wife, who's, I'm going to say this, way hotter than Felicia. And that really just killed Spider-Man comics for me. I dropped off Spider-Man because I just found him an asshole who only cares about his own sexual needs. When I actually wanted to read the hero from the 90s cartoon and the 90s Clone Saga, where he was actually a heroic, decent human being.
And the story didn't revolve around, who is he going to bone?
Felicia, MJ, or some random chick on the street. I don't know. Maybe he'll call over a hooker later.
And the reason why I might complain about Catwoman is that when she's written as a sex kitten, she's like the Joker. She just keeps Batman and his clan in a loop.
Okay, so you're just like break the loop and either get her on the bus out of Gotham and doing her own adventures like Han Solo style, off in the sunset. Like, you know what I mean? Like going off to become a Han Solo type or John Wayne type character, an anti-heroine. Heck, I even think maybe give her her own city. Give her her own city. You know what? Question is dead. Like, his city's up for grabs. Give that to Catwoman. Why not that?
Mm-hmm. And
I would read that. Have her team up with maybe Harley, Riddler, and I don't know, like, I don't think Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy should stay in Gotham. I'll be honest, I never liked the Harley Poison Ivy friendship outside the cartoon. I didn't mind it in a few comics, but I actually like Harley and Catwoman's friendship a lot more. It seemed more redeeming and a little more interesting.
Okay.
And I actually think stick Harley, Riddler, let's see, who else? And maybe James Jesse from Flash Comics in Questions for City, and just have some interesting anti-hero adventures. And this would be like this would be interesting to see Catwoman lead such a team. Yes, her as the leader, because honestly, she may not be the best fighter out of that group or the best detective. I mean, Riddler's the best detective. Harley might be the best fighter because of her superpowers. That said, Harley's also the worst fighter because she's Harley. And so it might actually be James Jesse. But Catwoman's the most balanced character in that group. And give her back her daughter. Like, it'd be great to see this kind of PI company type anti-hero team as led by maybe, I don't know, Catwoman. But that would take her away from the background.
And it's unfortunate because there are writers that want to help her story and help her become a better character and cut ties with her and the entire Batman thing,
which is boring.
But
her being with Batman, I mean,
it's like even as a not
the only time I've kind of seen it halfway well written has been, I will admit, some of the scenes with her and Batman Returns were pretty good. No, but that's Michelle, I think, Pfeiffer, was it? Good actress. Damn good actress. I think better in Lady Hawk. But then you have Dark Knight Rises, where Catwoman wasn't the worst written character there. I would argue I have problems with Nisa in that movie. But some of the Catwoman stuff was pretty interesting. And Anne Hathaway is a really good actress.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also the first time I actually thought she was smoking hot. But the thing is, cat-themed characters can be sensual and sexy, but you gotta combine it with good writing, otherwise they're just sex icons.
Stuck in a loop.
And stuck in a loop, in terms of literature. Honestly, I didn't expect to bring any intelligence to this argument. I was just gonna go, yeah, but their job is to be sexy. But you got me thinking, screw you. But I liked, as for Felicia, I liked her as just that ex that Spider-Man's uncomfortable with and doesn't want around him. Well, I should say Scott Spider, because Peter became Scott Spider eventually, and then retired. Like, that Peter wants, like, kind of away, because he's going, it was weird. I don't want her around. Why do you keep hanging out with my ex, MJ? And MJ's going, well, I need some girlfriends, and her and I really hit it off. It's a weird relationship. It really reminds me in some ways of Tracy being friends with Robin at the end of How I Met Your Mother. No joke, like that's a weird friendship. But it did happen in universe. So it's that kind of awkward friendship that, I don't know, I've never seen really happen. But I've seen, that said, I've seen maybe once where someone's ex would remain friends with. Oh, wait, there was Robert E. Howard, who essentially dated his friend's ex. That's a weird situation I read up about. It's basically that situation almost, where the ex is friends with his besties with the woman who got her man. It's just so weird. But it's superheroes. You can do anything, I guess. But, yeah, Felicia was really well written. She got so much character development. Then they chucked it, and she's basically cucking Puma with Spider-Man every once in a while. Post 97, which was stupid. I hate
Her
that.
relationship with MJ is antagonistic.
When pre-97, it was very warm and caring. And MJ was like an older sister to Felicia, because Felicia got these big, girly fantasies and whatnot. And MJ told her, yeah, Flash is a recovered veteran with a former drinking problem. You're going to get hurt, Felicia. I'm worried about you. And Felicia, of course, plunges on in to get herself hurt. And she later, pretty much, according to Peter, constantly phone calls MJ and cries on MJ's shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter hates it because it's uncomfortable for him. And he has zero feelings left for Felicia and wants her out of his life. Because she's an ex. And no, like, I actually like Peter's mindset there because it's really interesting because Peter's attitude is, you keep an ex around.
No.
And is he committed to his wife and daughter?
Yes.
Why does he need an ex hanging around him and his kid? You know,
Exactly.
it's interesting because Peter's almost antagonistic towards Felicia. He's like, get out of my life. And MJ keeps inviting her back in because she wants that friend. Because she likes Felicia. Felicia does love MJ as a, like, I got the impression Felicia eventually almost looked up to MJ, like a little sister to a big sister. And you know what? MJ's such a freaking great heroine in some ways. When I say heroine, I don't mean that in the superhero context. I mean as a amazing human being who overcame so much. MJ is very inspiring.
Yes, and even if you keep a cat-themed villainess a villainess,
it's fine.
It's like I much
you
prefer...
can keep them in the loop. But the minute you introduce good writing to the character, you just broke the loop.
Mm-hmm.
And what the hell are you doing, author?
And between Catwoman being, for example, the purring little anti-heroine, whatever, and the Madam Crime Lord, I think I'd rather read her as a crime lord.
Yeah, same.
It gives dimension to the character that she loses if she goes back to the same damn thing.
Like bouncing between Mob Boss and basically Batman's side piece. There's a reason I suggested just make her, like, take her into another city and make that city so crap, basically accuse one city, that's not Gotham. Like, it's not as bad as Gotham, but Selena teams up with others, reluctantly at first, probably like with people that like James Jesse and Harley that she's worked with in the past, or Riddler, and they bring out the best in her and are trying to redeem her, and she cares enough about them to start doing heroics. And this would be an interesting character rep for her.
It's like
I would read that.
Yeah, so...
And I'm not even a Selena Kyle fan. I actually hate her. I've hated her since I was a kid. I thought she was boring in the Batman animated series. She was so dull as dishwater there. Nothing like Lois Lane from the Superman animated series. Or even... she wasn't even as funny as Harley or cool as Barbara, or as well written as them, or as fun as Diana from the Justice League cartoon. She wasn't anywhere near as interesting. And they eventually made her the purring sex kitten mob boss in the second season of Batman, which was more fitting for her because what else are you going to do with that character in the animated series? But the problem is the comics could have gone in a different direction. And Black Cat should have gone into a different direction.
So, what are your thoughts on these sexy kitten female characters? Do you think that they should be able to grow and as characters and be better written? Or should they just stick to being your nighttime routine pictures? So,
yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and share the video. And please subscribe!
Yeah, we desperately need you to.